Hello, everyone. A lot is happening again. The Jupiter-Pluto fixed square is really making an impact on us, and Mars is almost joining it. I mean, energetically, it's not yet there. I'm going to show you the chart, but soon it will be, and you can feel it. You can feel how a lot of violence is erupting, and a lot of natural disasters are also coming into picture. And as I'm recording this, I just heard in the news that the Durham report has been published, and it's an unbelievable piece of evidence how the deep state was working against Trump. Don't get me wrong. I don't care. To tell you the truth, I don't care, my dear fellow American friend, who your president is, because I'm not living there, but I wish you well. And I certainly don't think that the deep state should interfere with your election or who you are going to choose as your president. This is my only problem with this. And I have a hunch that Trump was an agent for trying to restate the so-called United States of America as it should be, as a normal state, and not as a cover-up for the deep state. That's what he wanted, and of course he didn't succeed. That's all I will tell you. And this particular new moon in Taurus is really special in many respects. I gave the title, or the subtitle for this Taurus new moon is, it's high time we reconsidered and restructured things, because this new moon is on Sedna. It will be exact on May 19th, London time 1653. And as you can see, there are a number of things, really a traffic jam in Taurus. The same traffic jam was in Aries a couple of weeks ago. Now it's in Taurus, so it's a bigger impact in this sign. You can see there's Jupiter, North Node, Mercury, Astrea, Vesta, Uranus, the Sun, the Moon, and Sedna, all in Taurus. So it's a big emphasis on Taurian energy. And all new moons are about new beginnings, fresh starts, something that you can initiate, you can start. And with Taurus, the agenda, so to speak, is to create harmony, well-being, resources, love, anything that is good for human life. That is what you can do. But for this, you need to reconstruct things that are not working, because that's Sedna's rule in karmic astrology. Besides the Sun, Moon, Sedna, and this whole structure in Taurus, Chiron is on the descendant in the London chart, indicating that we might have karmic pain and wounds through either a love partner or through a contract. And there's an interesting midpoint structure. The Mars Black Moon Lilith has Pallas Athena at its midpoint. So that's the main thing. But there's also a harmony triangle. But before we are going to look at the actual planetary pictures, let's take a look at Sedna. Sedna is the TNO of creation through dissection. It is an Inuit goddess, creation goddess. You can Google the meaning. I talked about it many times. But now let's take a look at its orbital period, which is approximately 11,400 years. Other sources say it's 12,500 years. They are never really completely sure, because they don't know how to measure, I think. And this is trans-Neptunian, which was spotted by these people, which are normally the people who are spotting trans-Neptunians on November 14th, 2003. And its orbit is one of the largest within the solar system. We now have longer ones, the so-called extreme TNOs, like Alicanto and others. But anyhow, it's still very long. And its surface is made up of frozen methane, water, and nitrogen. And it is the size of 2/3 of Pluto's, which makes it a potential dwarf planet candidate, which is a very stupid label. It's one of the stupidest labels I've ever read in or encountered in, sorry about that, what am I doing? I just wanted to show you the pictures in astronomy, because they devised this new category in 2006 when they demoted Pluto. And it's an idiotic category because it really doesn't tell you anything. What is a dwarf planet? Think about it. Pluto has a 250-year-old orbit, and it orbits in the outer Kuiper belt. It's a dwarf planet at the moment. And Ceres, which is the first asteroid, having an orbital period of 4 years, is in the asteroid belt, and it is also a dwarf planet. It doesn't make any sense in my opinion. Anyhow, let's take a look at Sedna. So this is what you see. Here's Jupiter and Saturn, and then Uranus and Neptune, and Pluto's orbit goes well into Neptune. That's what it makes. Pluto is practically a centaur, and it of course it is in the Kuiper belt. As you can see, Neptune is at the edge of the Kuiper belt. So that's it. And Sedna is way, way beyond Pluto's orbit. As you can see here, this purple circle inside here, that shows you the enormous size of Sedna's orbit. Think about it, approximately 12,000 years, which means that it stays in one sign approximately. It should stay in one sign approximately for 1,000 years. But at the moment, it is at perihelion, so it shortens these times. I mean, it was in Aries for about 100 years, and it will be in Taurus about 60 years only. So that's quite interesting. Anyhow, there you find a harmony triangle, which is a bit wide, but it again gives us some kind of hope, some kind of interesting perspective about this particular new moon, because the Sun-Moon conjunction is at 28 degrees 25 Taurus. Sedna is at 29:38. Mars is at 29:26 Leo, Cancer. So it's ready to move into Leo next day. And then Neptune is still at 27 degrees 12 Pisces. So this is a harmony triangle that is a bit wide to my taste. Of course, it is closing because the Sun-Moon conjunction is closing it, but the Sedna-Neptune portion is what makes it a bit wide for my taste. But you can also interpret it as a midpoint structure. So you can say that this particular Taurus New Moon about restructuring things is on the Mars-Neptune midpoint. And of course, there is a Mars-Neptune sextile, which is separating and soon becoming trine, which is soon going to be out of orb and also out of energy. So the Mars-Neptune is always the Grail night. Mars-Neptune is about how you can fight Mars for a noble cause or an ideal or a transcendental cause or plan. And I would suggest that make this particular new moon for your own cause. Think about your own wishes. Think about your own will. Think of your own dreams and try to make a wish and try to find the resources inside you. Because if you are becoming a spiritual warrior, Neptune, Mars, for your own causes, that is when you can help others. And we will need this energy in the upcoming months and years. So this is a beautiful midpoint structure and or a harmony triangle. You can also translate it in this way. And if I leave Neptune out and try to find other celestial objects, what I get is a dissociated planetary picture. The orb is quite tight. It's within half a degree really everywhere, or almost everywhere, within 1 degree with the Mars-Jupiter square. But this is dissociated. So as you can see, the planets are either at 0 degrees or at 29 degrees, or almost 29 with the new moon. So we do have a dissociated T-square, which is very, very disruptive. In a previous video, I explained that the Jupiter-Pluto pair in any form is one of the largest, most potent, most important planetary aspects, simply because Jupiter enlarges everything it touches, and nothing is ever enough for Pluto. So this combination is bound to succeed or bound to have something really big. And of course, if you look around, you can see the disruption, the war, the natural disasters. Also, here in Europe, we had a couple of really bad accidents and bad shooting occasions. And Mars is, of course, entering the picture. By next day, it will be moving into Leo. So even energetically, you will have a fixed T-square, a very disruptive fixed T-square, because Mars-Pluto is about aggression and about really all kinds of negative energies that involve violence and aggression. And Jupiter at its apex enlarges the whole thing. So that's not a very nice energy. But luckily, the Sun, Moon, Sedna is dissolving this energy. And that's why I thought that, yes, amid this horrible disruption and cacophony of craziness and I just heard there's another piece of legislation that they are trying to implement in the United States, that if a child wants to have a sex change operation, the state can hide him or her from his or her own parents. Think about this is so incredibly sinister that I can't even describe what's going on there. I'm really sorry. I mean, it's like I love the United States. When I look back before 2000, before the 9/11 facade, it was a wonderful country. It was a wonderful place. And look, it really turned to shit. I'm really very sorry about that. Maybe there are some places which didn't, but all in all, what emanates from the United States, the craziness, the violence, the disruption, it's really scary to me. But as all disruptions, this particular moment in space-time allows you to restructure and reconsider stuff. And this is what Sedna is there for, to dissect things that are non-working. Look at your own life, look at your own things, look at your relationships within the family, within the friend circle, your circle of friends, your acquaintances, and simply change whatever you don't like. Take the non-working segments of your life, of your relationships, of your friendships, of your things in general, and just discard them and try to create a new structure of the working things. Things are getting disrupted very, very soon, and we are in the process right away. Here are the transcendental objects, which are quite relevant in many respects. On the Sun Moon, you have Phaethon, which is a disaster asteroid, which actually shows that everything is falling apart. So there's a big potential for escalation. If you will just look at the war, Zelensky just finished a European tour. He went into many, many countries, and he was begging for more money and for weapons. And of course, the world leaders in Europe all promised these. I mean, it's ridiculous. How many more people need to die? Okay. I'm not even going there. I'm not saying anything, whatever, but that's Phaethon right on the new moon. And of course, more Somnus, which is a pair, it's a TNO that is linked to death and sleep. And it was very prominent during the pandemic. It was really one of the most prominent placements during those 2 years. And now it is on the Sun-Moon conjunction. on the new moon. And just the other day, I was kind of joking with my group that, you know, I can see how the powers that be really want to demolish our world. And let's face it, our world as it used to be is being demolished because the new power structure is emerging, and we don't actually see yet what this new power structure wants us to become. But we can already see that the old fundaments of the old world are completely demolished. Pluto, Jupiter, Mars, and they want to implement something new. And for this, they will need another virus. And of course, the problem, as Bill Gates nicely and kindly mentioned, the problem is that not too many people died during this last pandemic. So now I think what they are trying to do is trying to give us some more potent stuff in order so that we can die. And if they do this within 2 years, nobody will believe them. nobody will comply with the rules that they are trying to give us. Social distancing and masks and yes. And jabs out of, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 jabs. Yeah, right. They can try, nice try, but the people will not accept this. They just won't. But if they are patient enough, if they wait, let's say for 10 years, then people will either forget, or the old ones who lived through it and were wise enough to see through it from the beginning will die or will be too old to be listened to. So we will see if they are desperate enough to turn us into bio fertilizers, or they are patient enough. We will see. But that's on the new moon at the moment. And on Sedna, you have again Phaethon. So Phaethon is really amplified, one of the disaster asteroids, and the Pleiades, which by definition, the sun moon is not on the Pleiades, although we could actually give it a larger orb. I usually give it a 1 degree orb. And at the moment, the last of the Pleiades is at I think Taurus 29, 40 something, and the first one is at 0 degree 30 something. So technically speaking, it is not conjunct because the new moon is on 28 degrees and 25. But of course, it's quite near, and Sedna is bringing the Pleiades in, and the Pleiades in karmic astrology is the home of the creator goddess. So yes, in a double way, you can actually start creating new stuff for your life, for your loved ones, and for your restructured whole. On Jupiter, we have a number of things: Hephaestus, Apophis, Metis, Helio, and Justice, Justitia. These are asteroids. Hephaestus is the lame goldsmith or lame smith who can create beautiful, perfect things. Apophis is another disaster asteroid. It's the in Egyptian mythology, it is the snake that is swallowing the sun. Metis, and that's what's happening. They're swallowing our energies and our resources. And Metis is the goddess of wisdom, so there is hope. Helio describes the sun. It's one of the sun gods in Greek mythology. So again, it gives us energy and hope, shining light. And Justitia, justice, is one of the cardinal virtues. So justice could be achieved. And there are 2 bright stars, Andromeda, Alpha Pisces, and Beta Andromeda and Arisha Alpha Pisces, which we are going to look at in a minute. And on Pluto, which I should have written Pluto, but I left here the Hungarian version, sorry about that. You have Orius, the centaur that describes mitigated punishment. That's exactly what is happening. Look around. People are getting away with murder. The leaders, they are cheating, lying through their teeth. They are corrupt to the bone. They commit horrible crimes, and nothing happens. Nothing. The world is just watching them. Anyhow, so that's Pluto Orius. The plutocracy is getting mitigated punishment or no punishment at all. And Tazared, which is Gamma Aquila, and here are these fixed stars for you to actually note where they are. Arisha, as I said, it's the knot, hold the knot, and the 2 fish are taking different directions. One of the fish wants to go back to the to the wheel of incarnation, and the other one wants to get out of it. And the knot is keeping them there. And this is a push and pull all the time, because the incarnating soul needs to decide whether I want to incarnate into a physical body, which is brilliant, but at the same time very painful, or I just want to stay in a higher dimensional space and do other stuff, which I can't really do in my physical body. And then Andromeda is the princess in chains, and Mirage is her belly button, to use a euphemism. And of course, it describes feminine pleasures. And Tarazed, why am I mixing this up? Tarazed is one of the stars of the celestial eagle, Aquila, and the whole constellation is linked to shamanism and healing energies. And here's the ruler of the Taurus New Moon, of course, Venus, which is very out of bounds. It's 25 degrees 35, so it's well above 2 degrees above the ecliptic. I'm not sure whether you can see it, but these yellow dots are the dots of the ecliptic. Here's the, sorry about that. Here is the solstice, the summer solstice point. As you can see, it's well above it. So that's where the sun is at the summer solstice. So it's out of bounds at the moment. And here comes the bonus. I love synchronicities. And the other day, I got an email from one of my very, very nice ex-students, Esther, who works and lives in Hungary. And she's a very nicely practiced karmic astrologer and also a tarologist. And she has a page in Facebook in Hungarian, Eszteroida. So if you speak Hungarian, if you speak Magyar, or you want to check her out, you can do Eszteroida. And anyhow, she emailed me that she had a dream with Judy Hall, my master, and she was in a jungle, very happy in a jungle, in a hut, working, and she had a plate in front of her with 4 eggs. And these 4 eggs, as she remembered from the dream, were amethyst, hematite, lapis lazuli, and aragonite, either aragonite or jade, a bright green stone. And she wanted me to ask, she asked me what this dream meant. Well, first of all, an egg shape. The egg is the universe. And of course, the symbol of the goddess, the creator goddess. So Judy was working with the creator goddess. And these 4 eggs, first of all, 4, of course, the number 4 is the number of the physical plane. Amethyst is about higher communication. It's either a crown chakra or a third eye chakra stone. So it gives you the ability to look into higher realms and also communicate telepathically. So it's something that goes up and takes for us the messages from higher dimension. At the same time, hematite is a very earthy stone. It's a black stone. It is linked to blood. So sometimes they call it bloodstone as well, although bloodstone is different. But so it's not. It shouldn't be called a bloodstone, but it is definitely linked to blood and to the root chakra. It's a root chakra stone. It's what holds us in incarnation. It helps us to get our life force stronger, and also so it is linked to blood and the life force in many ways. And the lapis lazuli is a communication stone. When you have a sore throat and you put a lapis lazuli on your throat, the vibration helps you heal. And so lapis is how you can communicate. And if you look around, mainstream media became totally dishonest. They are lying through their teeth. They are presenting you with false reality. And the problem is that the large amount of people just watch the news and believe what they see there, what the mainstream media wants us to see. And here's the catch. If you don't have a tool to tell the truth and discuss the truth, and if you don't have honest debate, it's very interesting in Hungarian, because in Hungarian, vita is debate and vita is life in Latin. So I'm just letting you know this. So anyhow, if you So lapis lazuli is kind of hints at the need that we need honest discussions to be able to talk about what is happening, and not through a smoke screen, but what really is happening. And then Amazonite and or jade and any green stone is linked to money. It's our physical energy. Money is linked to physical energy here on the earth plane. And interestingly enough, Judy Hall's daughter, Jenny, who is maintaining Judy Hall's Facebook page, Crystal Judy Hall, you can check it out. She has been posting flints that she found in Dorset, and that they are emerging from the earth. And these flints look like dragons. Look at them. I lifted 4 of them. She has many of them, and I asked for permission, and of course she gave it to me. So I thank you, Jenny, for giving me permission for it. And these dragons are really fascinating. First of all, they are beautiful. I love them. And dragons are mythic animals. They are no longer on the earth, but they are now resurfacing, and Jenny calls them earth dragons. And what are dragons? Powerful animals that incorporate the 4 elements. Think about them. They breathe fire, they can fly, they live both in caves, and also they can swim in water. So they simply occupy and also rule the 4 elements. And they are mythic animals, so they rule the mythos as well. And now they are resurfacing. Now they are showing themselves. So we do have hope. Think about it. It's funny how we are in true danger, true and present danger, clear and present danger. And the powers that we really want to demolish us, they hate us. They hate us, people. They don't want us to be happy. They want our resources. They want our properties. They want our lives. They want to occupy us. They want to run our lives instead of us. And we can fight back. We can do something because we have enormous helpers. The dragons are coming back, which I love. So, and Judy is working for us on another dimension. So let's hope. This is all I can tell. And with this particular new moon, yes, you can rearrange your life. You can get rid of the non-working segments of your life, and you can rearrange it in a better, nicer way. So let's do that. Happy Taurus New Moon. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.